Somebody said to me this week, probably not worth asking you about the budget, as you've probably got some stock replies that you give to everybody. Well, first of all, I do try to avoid stock replies. That's why I call this, very wittily I've always thought, an independent financial advisor's view. Get it? And secondly, really, my guess is not much better than most others. But here goes, for what it may or may not be worth. Well, the date for the budget has finally been set for 26th November, and it's much later than usual, usual being October-ish. That, of course, has led to conspiracy theory stories about how much extra time they need to prepare all of the bad stuff, it being nearer to Christmas to bury bad news in all the fun. Did they know there would be so many sackings and reshuffles? Was she, Rachel, going to be gone? But he changed his mind. I always favour the, pardon me in advance, cock up to the conspiracy theory that they actually haven't got a clue what they're going to do, for better or worse, so need more time to sort it out. There is a famous black hole to fill in the finances, of course. They can't, although they should, put up income tax, so it's assumed it will be the sort of taxes which affect what we do, which are going to be the favourites for hiking, as supposedly not many people pay them or will notice. Ask the farmers about that one. Anyway, let's take the rumours and possibilities in some sort of order. Pensions, which are always in the pre-budget rumour mix and always have been for the last 40 years or more. Will tax-free cash go, or will there be further limits on it? Currently, the maximum you can have in tax-free cash is just over £250,000. The leak, / rumour, is that it could go down to £100,000. Only a problem for those with pension pots over £400,000, of course, and the average pension fund at retirement is still a pretty pathetic 30-something thousand, so it won't affect many people, will it? Counter-argument, if it doesn't affect many people, why bother doing it? The other perennial is tax relief on pension contributions, already limited for the past few years by the annual allowance of £60,000, which reduces in an incredibly complicated way for higher earners. Stopping high rate relief or bringing in a flat rate, which will benefit some and not others, is something that's also often discussed. Why, when we're so underpensioned as a nation, would they do something which would discourage pension savings? Well, no point in asking the man who thought they would never touch inheritance tax relief on AIM, smaller company shares, if they wanted to encourage investment in small companies. They did, and crashed that particular market pretty spectacularly. Inheritance tax is the other key rumour monger area. Front runner there is a limit on lifetime gifts, the amount you can give away, or a limit on how much you can receive in gifts, something they have in other countries, which for us will be a big change, as the tax would then fall on the person receiving the money rather than the estate of the person giving it. I don't think so on that one. The inheritance tax allowances are already frozen. She's hit pensions, farms, as I've just mentioned, and AIM, smaller company shares. My bet is she'll leave it this time. What about capital gains, dividend and savings tax on interest? Well, the allowances for all of these are so small already that any further reductions won't make much difference. The biggie would be to just make all of these part of your income, which would double as tax simplification, get a lot more from some people, and take many who are having to potentially fill in tax returns, or not, as most won't know they have to, for the first time, for £100 or more of tax on bank or building society interest. But have you ever heard of tax simplification which actually simplifies anything? Then, why not add a wealth tax, whatever the heck that might look like, or a mansion tax, Maybe they could base that on the number of windows in the house, which they tried in Regency times, hence all those Jane Austen style houses with bricked up windows. Or she could go back to bashing bankers for all the good that would do economic growth. What can you do about it all? Well, give stuff away now to avoid inheritance tax? Yes, but only if you can afford it now. Take out your tax-free cash now. Yes, if you think you're going to spend it or give it away, or it could end up just hanging around in an account and being taxed anyway. Otherwise you are, I'm afraid, and to coin a phrase, potentially damned if you do and damned if you don't. So, should you do nothing? I'm afraid again, that's as good a plan as any. And I'm supposedly a financial planner.